Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Ticking Together. As always, the goal of this channel is to provide education about and to raise awareness as to what it's like living with Tourette syndrome. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys an easy guide on how to help a friend or loved one when they are having a tic attack. Because I've received a lot of videos on my own tic attack videos asking me what is the best way to support someone when they are having a tic attack. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, tic attacks are an intense bout of really severe insuppressible tics that can last up to a few minutes to a few hours. It can be really brutal. Tics are involuntary movements or sounds that people with Tourette syndrome or tic disorders cannot control. We get a premonitory urge that builds up in our body and we have to let out all of these tics, which can manifest in movements or sounds or even thoughts. And so tic attacks happen when there is an overload of tics and the individual with Tourette syndrome or a tic disorder is unable to suppress it, and it's very extreme, very intense, very harmful to that individual most of the time. So in today's video, I'm gonna tell you guys some tips and tricks on how to help someone when they are having a tic attack. But before we get into that, if you would like to stay tuned to my channel and help me with my goal of breaking the stigma that surrounds Tourette syndrome, please subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell to stay tuned to all of my content, and hopefully together we can break the stigma that surrounds Tourette syndrome because it is such a misunderstood disorder even in today's society. So let's get into it. How do you help someone when they're having a tic attack? What can you do? It will feel very scary when you see a friend basically not having any control over their movements or sounds. It's going to be, if you've never seen it before, it might be upsetting, it might be shocking. You might feel like, how can I help this person? What can I do? But the most important thing you can do is to stay calm. I know it's difficult. I got rice. Because the individual dealing with the tic attack is likely very stressed themselves. But if you can be a calm place for them and a safe space for them, that is the number one thing you can do to help an individual. If you're freaking out around the person dealing with a tic attack, they are likely to have more tics, more intense tics, because tics will increase in frequency and severity when people are stressed. So if you are really making a big deal out of it, stressing them out, screaming, helping them in weird ways that they don't want, they are gonna have probably a longer tic attack and it's gonna be harder on them. So staying calm is really important, and I know it's challenging, especially if you're seeing Stormy! If you're seeing a loved one flailing around or being unable to speak even, you just have to be calm and realize it's only gonna last a little while and they will eventually come out of it. That is also to say though, another really important thing to do is to communicate with that individual. Now, sometimes people with Tourette syndrome or tic disorders during a tic attack will be unable to respond because they are so focused on the tic attack, or sometimes we have silencing tics where we become mute for a short period of time. But if that individual is able to communicate to you what they need, please ask them what they want you to do. You can ask if certain things you could do would help them specifically. You can ask if they'd like to be left alone, because sometimes people with Tourette's and tic disorders do like to be left alone during tic attacks just to ride them out. A common question I get asked is, hey, would it help you if I restrained you, if I held back your arms or your legs? And for me at least, this is a huge no. I do not want to be restrained or held back from ticking at all. I want to be able to release my tics and let them out. And so if someone asked me, do I restrain you? Do you want me to hold your hands down? My response would be no. And a lot of other people with Tourette's or tic disorders response would be no. Because feeling restricted makes us want to tic more. It's almost like if we are unable to move, the urges in our body feel like electricity, and we're gonna have more and more movements in that body part if you're restricting us. So make sure to ask before you ever consider touching them or holding them down, because most of the time that is so damaging to people with tics and you're not gonna wanna do that. But ask ahead of time before you do anything. Make sure to communicate. Something else that is so important to help a friend during a tic attack is to respect them. This basically sounds like common sense, but you would be surprised with the amount of people that don't respect me when I'm having a tic attack. It's important to realize that this person is still human, they can still hear you, they're still functional, they're just having a really rough moment of tics. And so if they ask you to please leave me alone, most of the time you should respect their wishes and leave them alone unless they are a danger to themselves. But most of the time, people with tics will know if they're a danger. Most of the time, the person with the tic attack will know how the tic attack is going to ride out. Sometimes they will want to wait it out on their own to prevent embarrassment, as well as just to feel more comfortable. Because I know when I have tic attacks, I want to be alone. I want to be in a place where I can just ride it out myself because I'm embarrassed. I don't want people to see me in my worst moments, especially family and friends. Don't want them to see that, so I would politely ask them to leave. Sometimes when I'm on a video call with my fiance and I have a tic attack, I will hang up because I want to be left alone, and he will trust me knowing that I know it won't get too severe and that I'm safe and that I'm not a danger to myself. So it's really important to respect the individual dealing with the tic attack, respect their wishes, and don't go overboard with trying to be in their face and trying to like hold them down and help them, because they know what's gonna help them the best, and they'll ask you if they need help. And with that being said, another really important factor of helping someone with Tourette syndrome or a tic disorder during a tic attack is to listen. As I said, they're gonna know what's best for themselves. They've been through this a lot of times, likely, and they will know what will help them. As I said, for me, do not touch me, do not hold me down, let me be in a safe space by myself. Perhaps get a pillow for my head if I'm thrashing on my bed or something. Get something to prevent my head from hitting. But other than that, like, leave me alone is what I will ask for, and please listen. It's so important to respect someone with a tic attack's wishes, because most of the time we feel so embarrassed, so misunderstood, and we just want the attack to be over with. Listening to us, regardless of what that means to you, is so validating and makes us feel like you truly care and you're not judging us based on our Tourette syndrome or tics, which can be very, very embarrassing. As I said before, ask before you do anything. If you're gonna touch us, ask. Because sometimes contact on the individual with tics will make their attack worse. The only time you should ever go against the ticker's wishes is if they are physically a danger to themselves or if they are completely unresponsive. If this is the case, please seek immediate help from a professional. Call the parent, call a medical professional. If it gets really severe, seek immediate help. Another really important thing to do, as I briefly mentioned on before, is to make sure they are in a safe space. This involves things such as covering sharp objects or corners to make sure that we're not going to hit ourselves on a sharp object, because that could be very disastrous. Potentially lie them down on a bed or a soft surface to make sure they're able to just be in a safe space and not a danger to themselves. Because during tic attacks, we often lose complete control. We lose control of our movements, our vocalizations, our thoughts even. We are completely encompassed by our Tourette's or tic disorder. It's also important to make sure that the ticker is in an emotional safe space. So you want to make the space surrounding them very safe, but you also want to make sure emotionally they are in a safe space, which means, again, providing them support that they ask for or they wish. Maybe you know, I got rice. Maybe you know that the ticker likes to have tic attacks alone. So if they are in a public situation and you see they are having a tic attack, get them to a private room, a bathroom stall, a private room in a school. Get them to a place where they are going to be comfortable and not the center of attention. Make sure that you're respecting their wishes and make sure that you get them to a safe space, which means out of the public eye. We don't need people watching us as we're in our worst moments. And what can you do after the tic attack? This is something that people don't often talk about, so I want to give you the rundown of what you should do after your friend has finished the tic attack. They are likely to be exhausted, embarrassed, and just extremely overwhelmed. Tic attacks are brutal. So remind them that they are okay, they are safe, and that you are here with them. If it's okay with them, ask if you can give them a hug, or ask if you can bring them something that grounds them, perhaps a weighted blanket, a stuffed toy, or a fidget toy. Bring them something that will bring them back to reality, if that makes sense. As I said, they are going to be exhausted, so encourage them to lie down, drink some water, get some rest, because they have just been through something honestly traumatic. So make sure that they are comfortable and going to rest for the next little while. I would recommend, if it's okay with them, staying with them after the tick attack, because they are still going to be having tics, just likely less severe and frequent, but they might need your help even after the attack is over because they're gonna be so tired and drained. So staying with them is something that you can do that is very, very beneficial and supportive. Tick attacks are scary, but if you follow this advice in this video, you are likely to be able to help your friend or loved one with tick attacks in a very, very beneficial way. Make sure you're not freaking out, make sure that you're not going against their wishes, and just be a genuinely good friend. If this is your first time dealing with someone with a tick attack, this video is so crucial to watch because you never know what you're going to react like when you're seeing your friend in distress. So make sure to follow these tips. I got rice. To be sure you know how to best deal with someone dealing with a tick attack. I hope this video gave you some advice on how to deal with someone during a tick attack, because helping them is so crucial and there are so many things that you should do versus shouldn't do, and this video gives you all of the insight into that. Please give this video a big thumbs up to get awareness out there about what you should do when a friend or loved one is having a tick attack. Share this video with your family, friends, group chat, whoever, just to get awareness out there of what you should do, because this information is so important and people need to know how to deal with someone during a tick attack. If you would like to help me reach my goal of breaking the stigma that surrounds Tourette syndrome and educating viewers like you, please subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell to stay tuned to all of my content if you haven't already. Please leave a comment down below saying hi, telling me what you would like to see in future videos, or letting me know what you think is another really good way to help someone during a tick attack, or if any of this video resonates with you. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Stormy! As always, we're learning together, we're laughing together, and we're ticking together, and stay safe.